And it will get to be even more subjective if you look at perceived quality, which means emotional and sensory characteristic, meaning that, it's about a feel-good factor. So we do not want to go into that kind of level. You cannot say that, oh, I feel good, I feel good. It's like a sensory thing, so you cannot build things. I mean, engineers were not trained to build things that will give you good sensory level. I mean, like, come on. I mean, if you walk into the house, if there's a ghost inside there, is that like you don't feel good about it? I mean, like, those are things that we cannot cover. We are not Superman, we cannot cover all that. And then, so again, it is a relative measure and not an absolute measure. This relative and that relative that I was talking about is two different things. This is about relative to the customers. That is about relative to other product. So quality can be relative to other product, meaning that same phone, same car, same what mean by same product, same road, same house, same pipes. It can be relative to other product on the market, but then if that is all it is available, you probably could not go beyond it, you see. So it is never an absolute. Here it means that it is never an absolute, meaning that there will always be some element of human intervention in this matter, you see. So that's why we never say that it is can be really objective. But as engineers, when you do quality management, we want to make the subjectivity more objective than we can, you see. Yeah. So the other portion that I want to tell you that before we move into quality management, I hope you understand, quality is about desired level of excellence, and that desired level of excellence, again, the emphasis here is to be basing it on customer satisfaction, customer's requirement. Whether you're doing design, whether you're doing construction, it is always falling back. Who will be your judge? Your judge will be your customer or your end users, okay? So that is something that you have to remember. This is really the very fundamental of it. Then when you design your scope of work, and then you start to design your activities to fulfill that scope of work, and then you put in your resources, you recommend your resources, specify the resources such as labor, machinery, subcontractors, material. It has to be based on that level again. So that is the background. So this whole thing is what we call the whole process of designing and then planning, for the level of quality, and then making sure that the quality level are being met through various ways, such as quality assurance and quality control. This whole process throughout, from planning to control to planning to implementing to monitoring to auditing to and then also to controlling and also to rectify. These are actually the whole long processes that you need to apply to all the activities, to all the resources within the project, so that it can reach the specified level. See, but before we can move more into the actual quality management, I want to talk about cost of quality. Cost of quality in the industry. It does not mean that quality is cheap. Normally nowadays in the industry, there's a team of quality officers looking after the job. See, so you want to engage a team of officers. They are not cheap. See, they're definitely not cheap. You need to engage engineers. You need to engage supervisors. Then they will look after. They will plan for quality. They will monitor and all these sort of things. So you keep a team of people for all your project. It is expensive. You're talking about few $100,000, per year, or even up to millions per year just to keep a team. So is it worth the money, you see? So then we need to know that there is prevention costs. Like if you prevent it from happening, if you prevent your bad things, your low quality, your bad situation occurring, and it affects the quality. So we do have some prevention costs that we need to put in, such as people to manage, such as certain materials, or such as certain equipment to be calibrated, and ordering from specific suppliers whereby their quality are actually a bit more ensured. Others than they incur more costs. So we do have some prevention costs involved. But of course, it needs to be matching whether, if let's say failure did happen, what is the failure cost? The failure cost can be damage, repair, can be goodwill, even your company. Worst situation is people don't trust your company anymore, that means nobody give you any more jobs. So those are even worse. And those are this worst kind of scenario. But failure usually would be dealing with complete failure, meaning that, the whole thing came down. That is really scary. Then, of course, we will also have damage, repair, rectification costs. Those are all different type of costs that needs to be done. If it does happen, and then they also cost money. If you don't want to prevent, you may actually have failure costs, and it will also affect time and increase the cost for all those non-performance activities as well. So it may be good to actually make an effort to prevent. I mean, of course, you have to manage, but how big is the management of quality in your company or in your organization? It's very much dependent on how you value, the failures, the rejection cost, the failure cost, the damage cost, the repair cost compared to prevention costs. You see, so we as engineers, all our project, we need to do quality management. We cannot escape that. Yeah, we absolutely cannot escape that. But it's a matter of whether there will be how much cost, how much commitment, how much budgets do you have for quality management. That is very much dependent on how the company views it as part of the cost of running these projects versus if you let it happen, what will be the cost, you see? And that shows us that, again, it's that we're not forcing it, but actually it is important. It is important, but how deep you want to go in, how much money you want to spend on it, it's completely up to the organization. That's why some organizations are very committed. Some organizations are just not committed, so we cannot force it, you see. Right. So then this quality management is actually, this bit here is more like the history of quality management, whereby you've got different gurus. Now you're not only talking about the era of inspections. After inspections era, there is statistical process control, whereby they use statistical process to control the quality. And then we move into what we call quality as a process era. And now we talk about bringing in people, total quality management. Total quality management is an approach, that many of these gurus like Deming, Duran, Crosby, they're looking into management, not only management of the works, the processes, the item, the inspection, the control, but people, managing the people. You need to train your workers. You need to make sure that they're educated. You need to know that they must want it. That is the floor people. So floor people or the ground people or the site people, they are the people who take the action to build the product. These people are very, very important because even if you have commitment, leadership and commitment is very important. We as engineers normally we belong to the middle. We want to do it. We want to create a good final product. But if our workers are not giving us the support or not giving us the way to properly do it, then all your top management are just not committed to, not disciplined and not committed to your cost, to your effort, then it is difficult. So that's why total quality management is now coming together to say that it is not only about the final product, it's not only about the processes of checking or controlling, it's about the whole processes and every whole thing starting from the beginning, from the design, from the planning, all the way to the construction. You need to actually bring in people. Your people need to understand your effort. Your top management needs to be committing enough of money and enough of resources for you into it, to give the end people or the site people training or education, or you do not want to, fear them, give them fear, like, okay, if you don't do it, I'll penalize you, rather than they want to do it themselves. And this happens in many organizations whereby the workers themselves feel proud to do it, you see. And it goes back to Japan. So the Japanese really borrow all this concept and they really turn quality management around for themselves after World War II, especially because company like Toyota, they've managed to turn it around 30 years to get into US market, and they did it, you see. And it's a best-selling car, and they just kill off all the cars in US, you see, like Ford and GE and all that. So you can imagine their effort. So that is about discipline. That is something that quality management must have. It's the discipline, it's the willpower to do it, you see. And that must not be lacking. Without it, whatever we say, it will boil down to nothing.